Good evening, friends. We start tonight with President Trump's move on trade tariffs. The president is determined to level the playing field, claiming American workers are at a distinct disadvantage under current trade deals. Republican leadership has expressed concerns about starting a trade war globally if the president were to carry through with his proposed across-the-board 25% on steel and 10% on aluminum import tariffs. Today, the president made some adjustments to his campaign promise and will exclude two vital customers to the United States. The trade tariffs will not be levied against Canada or Mexico.
Sticking with 10 and 25 on the tariffs? Sticking with 10 and 25 initially. I'll have a right to go up or down, depending on the country, and I'll have a right to drop out countries or add countries. We just want fairness, because we have not been treated fairly by other countries.
The president has acknowledged he won Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, and Wisconsin, promising workers that he would deliver on a better deal. Earlier this week, the president said America can't afford to lose its steel industry. For more on this tonight, let's turn to Leo Gerard. He is the president of the International Steelworkers Union. Mr. Gerard, nice to have you with us tonight. I appreciate your time on this. You know, is this going to work? That's what Americans want to know. Is this going to have an effect on other countries that they might play fair? How do you see it?
Well, I think it certainly will have an effect on other countries. Let me say this. We've been fighting for these kind of decisions and for more than 30 years. That we know that there's countries that cheat, and I think that by bringing in these tariffs, that we'll be making a statement that we're not going to have cheaters pretend that they're not having an impact on the market. I want to congratulate Wilbur Ross, because Wilbur went looking back 25 years to see what's done to the steel industry by unfair trade, and then looking forward, and he came to the right conclusion. Unless we do something, that this is a national security issue, and it will only get worse. Our members aren't looking for anything special. They're looking for a level playing field.
Mr. Gerard, your industry is facing times like it's never had before. Is the president going to be able to pick and choose? Can he manage this to the point where it's going to save American jobs as you see it?
Look, I think that it's important that, as the president said, that he's going to have the right to move up or down, to increase tariffs, to decrease tariffs, to let others off, to let others in. And I think that it's important that we look at the countries that cheat. And we've got a lot of them that cheat. Canada is not one of them. Mexico is one of them. And so that's going to be an interesting fight. China, South Korea, India, Russia, Brazil, Egypt. I mean, they all create domestic overcapacity, and they flood the market. China has 700 million tons of domestic overcapacity, and they're dumping that into our market, or they're selling it to someone else under the cost of production so they can transform it and transship it into our market as another product.
Do you think the president cares about the steel industry, or is this just a campaign promise?
Well, I'd like to think that he cares about the steel industry, because if it's a campaign promise, it will ring pretty hollow. And we'll wait and see. But certainly for us, having wanted someone to do something for more than 30 years, when Bill Clinton was leaving office, he wrote a letter to the Commerce Department urging them to take action because the steel industry had been under attack for more than 30 years, he said in his letter. So that brings us almost to 50 years the steel industry has been under attack, and the aluminum industry. You can't make a solar panel without aluminum. 3 years ago, China said they're going to dominate the world solar panel industry, even if they had to sell under the cost of production. They've been doing that, and they've been killing the solar panel industry, and that's aluminum. We went from 15 aluminum smelters down to 5. 4 of them are working ones in idle. So we've lost from 135 million tons of steel a year down to 85 million tons of steel a year, while the global overcapacity has flooded our market. And
how do you think your members, Mr. Gerard, are going to receive this? I mean, a good number of your members voted for Trump because he said things like this. He was going to do something. And, you know, and I got to point out that Democrats had 60 votes in the Senate. They had Obama in the White House, and they also had control of the House. They didn't do this. I mean, how is this going to play with your members?
I think it's going to cause the Democrats a lot of heartburn. that especially our members, because our members have been part of the trade fight that we've been involved in for more than 30 years. And as I said, our members understand how they've been getting screwed, and they know which countries have been screwing them. And the fact that we're going to now try to do something about it, they're going to be pleased about that. But I also want to make one point that some procrastinators are, procrastinators may be the wrong term, that are out there saying, Canada is not the problem on steel or on aluminum. Canada has a trade deficit with America since the last 3 years. America has sent more steel into Canada than Canada sent to the U.S. We're each other's biggest customers. We're the largest importer of American steel, and America is the largest importer of Canadian steel. It's basically in balance. We make both parts, both industries make parts for the auto industry that flow back and forth across the border all day long.
So it sounds like the president got that message. It sounds like leaving Canada out of this is the right thing to do, and because of NAFTA, it sounds like he's got to give Mexico to make it right. And finally, do you think Mexico will make it right?
Look, I think we're going to have a really difficult time with Mexico. They've had, since the passage of the original NAFTA, they've had a 25-year, what they consider low-wage economy deliberately, so that they could suck jobs from the north and from the south into Mexico. Mexico is the fastest growing automobile market in the world, and that means the supply chain has been following it. We need to get some balance so that Canada and the United States maintain their auto industry and it does not get sucked south.
Okay. Leo Gerard, President, International Steelworkers Union, great to have you with us tonight. Thanks so much.